What's going on YouTube? Captain Redbeard back on the Division 2, another build video. Recently I decided to get back into doing some more conflict, but as you guys all know, and those of you that don't, conflict is just really plagued with status effects. So here's a build that I put together to mitigate that and get back into it. So let's see what I got, show you some gameplay, we'll get you out of here. Alright, so starting at the top, I am using the firewall specialization. I'm using that because I'm getting the 200% healing effect over 10 seconds with that. So if I know I'm going to be jumping into battle, I will actually use a kit a lot of the time just to be able to get that to proc, and it just really helps out. For my weapon, I'm using the Ouroboros. SMG damage, critical hit chance, and damage to target out of cover is maxed out. Total damage with the Ouroboros on this build is 91.4k. The talent is Rule Them All. When the agent has a status effect applied to them, 50% of the ammo in their next magazine will apply the same status effect to their targets. This effect will only occur during combat. So this being a hazard protection build, and all the bleed hives and the fire and the stickies and all that in conflict, I will actually get that effect applied to me. It won't do any damage, but then the Ouroboros will apply that effect to my target. Okay, so it just really helps out. It's a great weapon, and it has the crit chance that I'm looking for on there, so it just really works. My backup weapon, I'm using the shield splinter. Total damage is 93.4k. Assault rifle damage, health damage, damage to target out of cover is maxed out, and the talent on this is Perfect Optimist. Weapon damage is increased by 4% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. Sidearm is a TDI card custom. So here's how I have the gear set all up. Okay, so I'm using two-piece yawl, I'm using the Seska, I got the Sokolov, and I'm using the Cavalier. So for the mask, I'm using, as you can see there, the minor attributes. I got critical hit damage and hazard protection with a crit damage mod. The core attribute there is armor. Alright, now because I have the ninja bike bag, I'm using two-piece, but it counts as a three-piece, so I'm getting all three of the brand set bonuses, plus 10% hazard protection, plus 5% weapon damage, and plus 40% pulse resistance. Now the chest piece, a little hard to come by for y'all gear. I get it, it's not the easiest brand set to get, but if you can craft it, make one. This one here has armor, hazard protection, critical hit damage with a crit damage mod, and unbreakable. When your armor is depleted, repair 95% of your armor. Cooldown is 60 seconds. That's actually 50% of your armor in PvP. This build really does seem to work well, so check it out and let me know what you think. Okay, so the backpack, Ninja Bike backpack, all three core attributes, very unique piece in the game. This one in the Matador I'd say is probably the best. I really do like the Matador for a lot of the solo stuff. But the talent, Resourceful, is what makes it possible. Slots in with any equipped gear set and or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking gear sets bonus. Can unlock bonuses from multiple sets simultaneously. Okay, and I got a crit hit damage mod on that. For the gloves, we got the Seska Vroba. Core attributes weapon damage, minor's crit damage, and hazard protection on that as well. And the knee pads, Cavalier. Two-piece brand set bonus is giving me plus 30% hazard protection. Core attributes armor and crit damage I got rolled on there. And finally the holster. I'm using Sokolov. Brand set bonuses I'm getting is the 10% SMG damage and the 15% critical hit damage. In the conflict PvP I'm going to show you, I'm using a blinder, firefly, and I'm using a decoy. And then I was running some countdown, check it out in there, just using the Crusader Shield and the Reviver. It's usually, what I run when I'm in countdown. So let's take a look at the stats in a second. So one of the good things about the hazard build is that when you do have the fire and all that status applied to you, you don't go into hip fire. You can still focus your target, get those shots off. It works really well. I'm having a lot of fun with this build, and then you give them back the status they're trying to apply to you, so it really works out really well. go over the stats. Alright, so weapon damage is sitting at 91.3k, PvP weapon damage is at 30.4k, critical hit chance we're at 57%, crit damage I'm at 154, headshot damage 70%, 35% reload speed, and then a bunch of the minors. All weapons damage bonus, 86%. Take a look at the defensive, so there it is, just over 1.5 million armor. And we got 90% pulse resistance, and all of our hazards are at 100%. There we go. Works really well, especially with all of those status effects. I mean, I think I jumped into one game and I think everybody on the other team was running a Stinger Hive. So I got a couple of examples for that for you to take a look at. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you got a build like this, how do you put yours together? Or is there something you would change? I guess if, you know, obviously if you changed out the Cavalier, you could get more damage, you could get more armor to the build, but you're going to lose that 30% hazard protection, and that was kind of my point. That's what I was focusing on with this build. But either way, let me know. Curious to see what you guys are putting together for your HazPro builds. Alright, let's get into some gameplay. And yeah, we will see how this does. Alright, if you like this video, hit that like, subscribe, help me support my channel. I appreciate you guys. And let's get into it.
is yours. Good job.